Not if it's Law Bear. Law Bear Auto Accident attorneys fight for every dollar you deserve. Hurry to lawbear.com. That's lawbear.com. The bear has your back.
If you're thinking you have low T, well, then it's time to start for free. For a limited time, get prescription testosterone therapy with no startup fee only at Red Mountain Weight Loss. Hey, just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to feel older. Prescription testosterone restores your get up and go, so you'll feel like you're 20 again. You'll gain more muscle with less effort in the gym and lose that dad bod for good. You'll also think better, sleep better, and your love life will be better. Look, don't be fooled. Nothing boosts testosterone like actual testosterone. So skip the gimmicks and start enjoying life with prescription testosterone. It's a game changer. Prices start as low as $129 per month. So don't wait. Book your video appointment today and they'll waive the startup fee only at Red Mountain Weight Loss. Go to redmountainweightloss.com or dial pound 250 on your phone, keyword Red Mountain. Red Mountain Weight Loss. Real testosterone. Real doctors. Real results.
Hey, it's Phil Shaver with HomeSmart, and I want to buy your house. I'm a local investor that buys homes for cash all over Maricopa and Pinell County. I buy inherited homes, nice homes, rental homes, homes that are behind on mortgage payments, and I even buy ugly homes that need fixing. Also, are you looking to get closer to market value for your house? As a licensed realtor, I've been able to buy and sell thousands of homes. Since I'm local, you can call me directly on my cell phone, 480-409-9999. Again, that's 480-409-9999. I don't work for a big corporation or hedge fund, so I can only buy 3 to 5 homes per month. There are no fees involved, and you can pick your own close date. The best part is I buy homes as is, so you don't have to worry about doing any repairs. Again, you can call me directly at 480-409-9999, or you can go to my website, gosoldaz.com. That's gosoldaz.com.
Oh, hey, Sarah. Did you hear my daughter Katie got Camper of the Week?
That's a big deal.
We got a big deal too, right, Mom?
Honey, shh.
What's that?
Okay, that Hyundai Santa Fe, I only paid.
Nice.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days, or 1.9% APR for 72 months on the Hyundai Tucson, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Hurry, offer ends August 3rd. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
The KDUS AM 1060 app is brought to you by Law Bear Auto Accident Attorneys. Hurry to lawbear.com.
That's lawbear.com. The bear has your back.
It's the lunch break.
That it is, the Tuesday edition of the lunch break right here. KDUS AM 1060, streaming on the free KDUS AM 1060 app, and you can watch the show on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. Chris Schubert with you. Thanks for hanging out with us here today on the show. A lot of D-backs talk here today. We'll talk about the home run derby as well last night. I know there was a lot of concern with the new format. Thought was actually a pretty good time last night, the home run derby. We move closer and closer to the start of training camp for the Arizona Cardinals. Pressure on Marvin Harrison Jr., probably the most important season of the 3 years that he has been a member of the Arizona Cardinals. We'll tell you why here today on the show. Thanks for making us a part of your day and hanging out with us. 2 ways for you to get involved with the program here today. The first, the phone number, 480-864-1060. And then you have us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube channel where we've got the live chat. Hello to our good friend Michael over there, who's already getting things started. So we'd love to hear from you in either of those 2 ways here on the program. We'll start with the main sporting event that was going on last night, the home run derby, because despite it, just kind of being a fun little skills competition, I found myself enjoying it last night. I found myself caught up in the drama and the excitement and the new rules. I think they worked. I would consider it a success, but I still think it can be better.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special
So we'll make it the Daily Special. We'll make the Home Run Derby last night the Daily Special. Jordan Walker defeating Kyle Schwarber to win the 2026 Home Run Derby. Boy, was the ball flying out of the ballpark last night in Philadelphia. The wind pushing the ball out. We saw some balls hit over 490 feet. And I think overall, it would be fair to call this a success for Major League Baseball. There were many that were concerned about the new rules for the Home Run Derby, right? Getting rid of the timer, worrying about losing that sense of urgency, the built-in drama that the clock provided. But I still think the drama of knowing how many swings you had left, knowing how many home runs you needed to push past somebody in the standings, what you needed in terms of hitting on your last swing to create the bonus swing opportunity. I think the drama and the excitement and the urgency still existed. And I think while we have spent, and I say we in this context, sports media at large, we have spent a lot of radio airwaves, a lot of column inches, a lot of website links, a lot of podcasts over the last couple of years debating about the excitement level, the novelty, perhaps, what's the right word to use to describe what we've seen over the last couple of years in regards to these all-star games and these skill competitions? How they've lost their luster a little bit, and how everybody in sports, all of these commissioners are chasing viewership. They are chasing relevancy. That's probably the right word. They're trying to remain relevant during their all-star break. They are trying to maintain the eyeballs for something that doesn't actually mean anything. Basketball has been going through this the last couple of years, and we've seen about 5 or 6 different iterations of what they want their all-star weekend to look like, all in the name of remaining relevant, all in the name of keeping basketball fans in front of their television screen. Hockey, with the Four Nations, seem to have tapped into something, and baseball has kind of always been insulated from this. Right? Baseball and their all-star festivities, despite their game, at least now, meaning just as much as the other all-star games, nothing, they've been able to maintain a little bit of relevancy. And I think the main reason for that has been the Home Run Derby. It is the skill competition that stands out clear-cut above and beyond the rest, right? The Home Run Derby is better than the three-point shooting contest or the obstacle course, the skills drill that the NBA does, the fastest shot competition in the NHL. The Home Run Derby stands alone as this excitement because you get the stars to come out, right? The slam dunk contest has been unable to generate the big stars over the last couple of years. Schwarber was in this thing last night. Harper was in this thing last night. Murakami has had a fantastic first season in Major League Baseball. Ben Rice, despite not having the greatest night last night, has been a great story. Jordan Walker having his breakout season. You had the big stars in Harper and Schwarber and Caminero. And then you had some young and up-and-coming stars who are having great seasons like a Murakami and like the eventual winner last night in Jordan Walker. So you get the star power. It's always been an event that has been able to kind of stand on its own and carry a lot of the weight for baseball. And so last night I thought it was a success with the changed rules. Now, I say that to say I do think Major League Baseball can do more. And Major League Baseball is riding a bit of a wave right now, right? The World Baseball Classic created a wave of positivity around baseball. I think, while I don't know how long it lasts, this anti-Dodger sentiment can create some drama. It can create some must-see TV come the playoffs in October. The home run derby every year creates a little bit of excitement in the summertime. We're going to talk in hour number 2 of the program. It looks like we may be moving closer to the professionals playing in the Olympics. Although depending on who you talk to, that may not be the case. But there's some real buzz and momentum. It's why I'm so fearful of the labor stoppage that is on the horizon at the end of this season. Because there is so much positive momentum for the sport of baseball. The WBC, before that the rule changes, right? Banning the shift, limiting the mound visits, putting the pitch clock into place. That created some urgency, some drama. That helped with retention. Then the World Baseball Classic created some buzz and hype. The ABS system this year has done the same thing. And so there is a wave of momentum that baseball is kind of riding right now. And they run the risk of losing it here at the end of the season. But if we're just going to look at the home run derby last night, I told you this yesterday, it being on Netflix was going to surprise some people. It was going to throw some people off. There was going to be a lot of people who didn't know where it was last night and had to stumble across it. I firsthand had that experience. Before the monsoon came down last night, my daughter had softball. We were out. One of the other players on the team, their parents, we've known for a while. I had the home run derby on my phone. I was watching it, keeping tabs. And the dad said, oh, wait, is it on Peacock? Is it on ESPN? The last thing he expected me to say was, no, it's on Netflix. So firsthand, after I said yesterday that this was going to happen, I had a firsthand experience with somebody who did not know. And this is somebody whose daughter plays softball. They love baseball. Didn't know where it was. So that's something that baseball had to get better about, right? Promoting where this thing was. Because there's a lot of people who didn't know where it was last night. But I want to talk about the actual event itself because I think there is a tweak that they can make. And I was thinking about this today of what I would add to the home run derby. Because I think this 20 swings in the first round, 15 swings in round 2 and the finals, I think it works. I think the bonus swing, that if on your last swing you hit a home run, you get to keep going. I think tiebreaker being longest home run in the first round, swing off as we move along. I like all of it. I think the structure worked. I think there's a little bit of a strategy element that baseball can add to it. And this is where you need to lean in to the gimmicky nature of what All-Star Weekend is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be taken seriously. It's supposed to be a fun exposure to the sport. It's supposed to be a celebration of the game, right? But what if we added, like we were on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? You know that you have the 50-50, the Ask the Audience, right? The phone a friend. You have your lifelines. And over the course of playing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, you can use those lifelines, but once you use them, you're done. What if baseball gave some lifelines or power-ups like the video game world has? What if you have a power-up that you can double your home run count on the next pitch? Meaning if you hit a ball, it counts for 2 home runs. You can use that once over the course of your entire evening. What if there's a power-up, you can get 3 extra pitches? And again, you can use that once throughout the course of this event. Maybe there's something else we can add in there, but hey, the double ball, meaning this one counts for 2. You get 3 extra pitches. And you can't stack them. You can create all these rules. But it can create a strategic element of, hey, I'm the last guy to go. I got to burn a power up here. I got to burn one of my strategic advantages because I got to make sure I get into the next round. You want to create more urgency. You want to create more drama. You want to create more memorable moments. That is one way to do it. I didn't love the Netflix camera angles last night. Felt like half the time I didn't know if a ball was going to leave or not. But overall, baseball is riding a wave of momentum. And again, most of the commentary that I've seen today about the home run derby last night was positive. Most of the commentary that I've seen today is calling it a success. Jordan Walker winning, a cool moment. Guy's not making $1 million this season, won $1 million for winning the home run derby last night. Again, overall, it is just another thing, another feather that baseball can put into their cap right now during this positive wave of momentum. And to cycle it back to what I said here at the beginning, it's what makes me so disheartened that we seem to be barreling down towards a labor stoppage at the end of the season, a work stoppage at the end of the season when the CBA expires in December. That it feels like the two sides are so distrustful of one another, are on such opposite ends right now in their negotiations, that they can't put those differences aside to come to the table and get a deal done to continue this wave of momentum, to set up baseball for success for 2027 and beyond, leading into the next WBC, leading into the Olympics in 2028, where Major League stars want to participate. You run the risk of ruining all of this positive momentum that I think you've built up over the last, 14 to 18 months? Again, the rule changes to speed up the game have been a wild success. The ABS system this season has been a massive, massive, massive success. Don't change that. I know there's talks about going full ABS. I love the challenge system. I love the strategic element it provides. I keep going with that. The WBC was a massive success. The Olympics have another chance to build and grow the game. You don't want to waste it. You don't want to waste this positive momentum that baseball is creating. And the Home Run Derby last night, I think, is just a small example, just a small footnote in that positive momentum. So I'll say this. I went into it with low expectations. I went into it not knowing how the new rules would play out, the swings, the bonus swing, the way the tiebreakers were going to work, how it wasn't a bracket format anymore. I wasn't sure how it was going to be received. I wasn't sure how it was going to be executed. Overall, I think a really nice job last night, and that leads us into tonight, which is the All-Star game between the two teams, and then we are back at it. I think baseball resumes on Thursday. I think there's a game on Thursday. Diamondbacks are back in action on Friday with their 3-game series against the St. Louis Cardinals. So the All-Star festivities, the red carpet, starting, I think, right now, if not within in the next 45 minutes or so. We've got the red carpet for the All-Star game, and then you got the All-Star game to close out these festivities between the American League and the National League. But yeah, Jordan Walker wins the Home Run Derby, gets himself $1 million. I think he's making like $790,000 for this season as a rookie. So he more than doubled his income this year by just hitting some balls over a fence for a couple of hours. Pretty nice day of work there for Jordan Walker. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. When we come back, how much pressure is there on Marvin Harrison Jr.? That's next, the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
It's the lunch break with Chris Schubert.
The Arizona Diamondbacks went into L.A. and they swept the Los Angeles Dodgers. Dodger Stadium in general has been a pretty friendly place to the Diamondbacks. I know what your gut says about this team. You still, overall, are going to have to see a little bit more before you move off of your stance of this team being a seller at the deadline. We're going to reevaluate, right? I think it would be foolish for the Diamondbacks right now in this moment to start selling.
Live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and streamed live at KDUS 1060 on YouTube.
The Smashing Pumpkins return. The Rats in a Cage Tour. 2 unique sets celebrating melancholy at 30 and nearly 4 decades of unruly hits and dark treasures. November 11th, Mortgage Matchup Center. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. The Smashing Pumpkins. The Rats in a Cage Tour. Live.
Hi, I'm Tom Shane, third-generation owner at Shane Company. As a family jewelry business for almost 100 years, we are known for doing right by our customers. Our legacy of integrity depends on it. Here are 3 things we never do. We never cut corners. Our engagement rings are made to high-quality standards, and we stand behind them with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. We never buy diamonds without seeing them in person. We travel to the source, eliminate the middleman, and get first pick of the most beautiful stones. Then negotiate the price on your behalf. We never try to trick you on price. We don't mark up the rings just to mark them down and call it a sale. We offer true value from the start, so you get the best price every time. At Shane Company, we put you first because a friend always has your back. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Got things you don't need? Goodwill can put them to good use. This summer, donate your gently used items and score a 20% off coupon for your next Goodwill treasure hunt. It's a win for your home, a win for your wallet, and a win for the community because every donation funds local job training and career development programs. Drive up, drop off, done. Goodwill, a nonprofit, makes donating easy and accepts almost anything. Find a convenient drop-off location at goodwillaz.org today.
Jim Rome here with your Rome Report. Hyped to be back after a 2-week vacation, so where to start? How about UFC 329, which was absolutely epic until Conor McGregor stepped into the cage versus Max Holloway in the main event. Rarely does anything ever live up to the hype, but I'm not sure I've ever seen anything live down to the hype worse than this. This, quote, fight was over before it even started when McGregor seemingly shredded his knee after trying to throw a single, incredibly ill-advised kick. And by then, the conspiracy theories had already begun, that McGregor entered the cage with a pre-existing injury. He and Dana White have both denied it. That, of course, is subject to debate. What's not is that debacle was an all-time buzzkill, and frankly, not that surprising, given that he had not fought in 5 years and lived hard and fast during that time. McGregor said Monday he vows to return. My man, don't bother. We've all moved on. You should too. I'm Jim Rome.
When the moments in your life are too important to miss, you can trust O'Reilly Auto Parts to keep you and your plans on the road. Our professional parts people can test your vehicle's battery and even give it a charge if needed. In most cases, we can install your new battery for free. It's just one of the many services we provide at O'Reilly Auto Parts to ensure life's best moments don't find you stranded.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The U.S. Treasury just released its official financial report for 2025. Buried in it is a startling admission. By its own numbers, it appears the U.S. government is insolvent. When governments go this deep in debt, they print money, raise taxes, or cut benefits, none of which can help protect you. That's why people move part of their savings into physical gold and silver. Call Monetary Gold at 877-NOW-GOLD for their complimentary gold and silver guide. That's 877-NOW-GOLD. Call Monetary Gold now at 877-NOW-GOLD. Do it before the next headline, not after. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Home Run Derby was fun last night, and I don't know if the NBA will pick up on this. The winner got $1 million last night. That's more than Jordan Walker makes this year. I think he makes $790. Slam dunk contest. The winner, $105,000. If you're the NBA and you say, we're going to put out $1 million for the slam dunk contest, you're going to get some players that you've heard of. Because as it is now, this is a meaningless moment. But man, I'd up the ante just a little bit.
Weekdays, 6 to 9 a.m.
Back here on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert hanging out with you here today on the show. Producer Evan was at the Home Run Derby last night. I think he put out some stuff on our social media platforms from there. He sent me one video during BP for the Home Run Derby, or for BP for the All-Star game. So I know he was recording content from the Derby last night. Maybe we'll get a full debrief from him tomorrow when he joins us for his Open Championship picks on the program. I don't think you need me to tell you that it's a important year for Marvin Harrison Jr. I think you're smart enough to come to that conclusion on your own. I think you've been watching this team for the last 2 seasons, and you know that it has not lived up to the expectations of a receiver that was taken where Marvin Harrison Jr. was taken. I mean, you take somebody inside the top 5, you're thinking, doesn't matter the position, blue chip, Pro Bowl, All-Pro, slam dunk, franchise cornerstone. That's what you're thinking when you take somebody in the top 5. This is somebody that's going to be a franchise icon for us, going to sign multiple deals with us, going to make multiple Pro Bowl teams, is going to be part of our core. That's what you're expecting when you take somebody in the top 5. I don't think it's unfair I don't think it's wrong to say that Marvin Harrison Jr. has not gotten anywhere close to that level in his first 2 seasons. So just on that premise alone, we understand how important year 3 is for Marvin Harrison Jr. But how about I give you another way to look at it? Because if you are a diehard listener of this program, if you hang out with us most days on the lunch break, you will know there are 2 things that producer Evan loves to bring up on the show that I could do without. Bleacher Report lists and NFL redrafts. 2 things I could do without in this sports media world. I don't love the redraft 6 months after the last draft happened. Feels like we're rushing to conclusions. Feels like, what are we doing here? But I will say that a CBS Sports redraft of the 2024 draft kind of piqued my interest this morning when poking around the internet. Why did it intrigue me? Well, because instead of taking Marvin Harrison Jr. at number 4, it had the Arizona Cardinals taking Jared Verse. That's not really the interesting thing to me. What is so fascinating to me is that Marvin Harrison Jr. falls all the way to number 19 to the Los Angeles Rams. He goes from number 4 to number 19. If you needed any more proof, and again, I told you that I don't think you did. I think you're smart football people. I think you're smart football fans who understand how much pressure there is on Marv. But if you needed something else, here is, in a different way, right? Because they're not outright saying it, but here it is in a different way saying, Marvin Harrison Jr. hasn't been good enough. He has not been as good as some of the other players in his draft class. Now, I didn't do this exercise when I first read the story. I probably should have, so bear with me here. Because Marvin Harrison Jr. was the first receiver taken in the 2024 NFL draft. Right? We all know Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May went 1, 2, 3. First non-quarterback, Cardinals at 4 with Marvin Harrison Jr. So first receiver off the board. In this redraft, Malik Neighbors goes 7 to the Titans. Ladd McConkey goes 9 to the Bears. Trying to see what other receivers. Brian Thomas Jr. goes 14 to the Saints. 3 receivers. Marvin Harrison Jr. goes from wide receiver 1 to wide receiver 4 in a redraft. He goes from the 4th player off the board to the 19th player off the board. Again, a different way to say it hasn't been good enough. A different way to say Marvin Harrison Jr. hasn't lived up to the expectations. That's not why CBS Sports wrote this story. They did a redraft to see, hey, how would teams look at the 2024 draft differently now that we're entering year 3? But for us, here in Arizona, I read that story, I look at that and go, boy, doesn't that say it all about Marvin Harrison Jr.? Doesn't that say it all about how we are entering year 3 and we still don't know what he's going to be as an NFL receiver? Hence why I think that means there's a world of pressure on him to succeed. An offensive coordinator, an offensive-minded head coach, that if we're going to put our cards on the table, pun intended, this is the best situation for Marvin Harrison Jr. since coming into the league. I think it's the best play caller and coach that he's going to have on the offensive side of the ball. I think the supporting cast around him sets him up for success because they can't just isolate on him. Because if they do that, they're going to leave Michael Wilson open. If they do that, they're going to leave Trey McBride open. If they do that, they are going to allow Jeremiah Love to feast. So the supporting cast around Marvin Harrison Jr. is the best in the 3 years that he has been a pro. So the coaching is the best. We think the infrastructure is the best. We think the play calling is the best. Depending on who's playing quarterback, I think you're going to have more consistent quarterback play. With Kyler Murray, I think the ceiling was higher. But at least with Jacoby Brissett under center, and Trust me, it's a day that ends in Y. We're moving a day closer to training camp. I have more Jacoby Brissett thoughts to share with you here today on the show. Don't worry, we'll meet our quota. But if Jacoby Brissett is the starter for this team, and right now I think he's going to be, the floor for your offense is higher than it was with Kyler Murray. The consistency, it's not going to be as volatile. The highs are not going to be as high, but the lows aren't going to be as low. It all sets up for this to be the season that Marvin Harrison Jr. breaks out. So if he doesn't, then I think you know what he is at this point. You'll know that he probably shouldn't have been the first receiver off the board. You're probably going to be able to admit to yourself after year 3, he is not what a top 5 pick is supposed to be. That blue chip, Pro Bowl, slam dunk, franchise cornerstone. After 3 seasons, if it doesn't happen, I think you're well within your rights to say it's not going to happen, at least not here. That's why I think there's so much pressure on Marv for this season. It has not been set up better for him to be successful. And so if he isn't successful this year, he is going to have nobody to blame but himself. In years past, you've been able to look at the play calling. You've been able to look at the quarterback play. You've been able to look at the supporting cast pre-Trey McBride breakout, pre-Michael Wilson breakout. Been able to point to all of those things. You can't point to those things anymore. You can't point to the play calling. You can't point to the coaching staff. You can't point to the infrastructure and supporting cast. You can't point to any of it. You can't point to, oh, he's a rookie. He's got to get his feet underneath him. We are entering year 3. And so with that as the backdrop, that creates a lot of pressure. That creates a sense of urgency. And Marv knows that. Marv knows because at the end of this season, you know what else happens? He's eligible for a contract extension. At the end of this season, the Cardinals get to decide on Marv's 5th-year option. They also get to decide if they want to extend him. They get to decide if they want to lock him up long-term and get ahead of resetting the market. So this is such an important year across the board, and guess what? That creates pressure. There's a lot of money at stake. I think his future with this team is at stake. I think his role in this offense is at stake. I don't think it's been set up better for him in a previous season. This is his best chance to succeed. And so if he doesn't, it is going to fall on him. So when I saw this story today, that it was a redraft, I clicked on it, and I thought to myself, is there going to be something here for me to discuss with all of you? And then I saw that Marv wasn't the pick at 4. And again, Jared Verse, he's the pick in the redraft. I understand why. Cardinals need another edge. Verse is awesome. Makes sense. But to me, the more important storyline was Marv is just an afterthought. They don't even consider retaking him. They just move on. Okay, we need an edge rusher. We're good. We've got Michael Wilson. And so that's telling. That tells you how low it has gotten. And sometimes we say on this show that the national perspective doesn't match up with what we feel here on the ground, right? We say that all the time. We're closer to it, so we have a different view, appreciation, perspective. This is one of those times where I think the national perspective is spot on. This is a make it or break it year for Marvin Harrison Jr. because a 5th-year option decision's coming at the end of the year. A potential contract extension conversation happens at the end of the year. And this is year 1 of a new offense that Marv wants to establish himself as the guy in. Doesn't get any more pressure-packed than that. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. When we come back, the trade, it became official last night. But the Suns, they still have some questions to answer. That's next, the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
The Jim Rome Show.
Conor McGregor v. Max Holloway. The quote, fight was over before it even started, with McGregor seemingly shredding his knee after running out and attempting to throw a single ill-advised kick. Maybe he knew he couldn't last with Max Holloway. Maybe he was looking to end it as spectacularly as possible. I don't know.
The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, here on KDUS AM 1060.
Stained
Break the Cycle 25th Anniversary Tour. Featuring Seether, Stained. October 13th, Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater. With special guests, Hoobastank and Hinder. Tickets are on sale now at livenation.com. Part of the America First Credit Union Series.
To 15-year-old Harper, buying an $80 vintage rock t-shirt is a great investment. To Harper's mom, this logic has a few holes in it. So she helped Harper open a Wells Fargo Clear Access banking account. With no overdraft fees and tools to track spending, Harper's learning, one heavy metal tee at a time. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Terms apply. Visit wellsfargo.com/deposit disclosures for fees and details.
And we're live from the living room as Doug eyes up the MHJ spread. He's reaching for the Buffalo wing. Perfect. Hang on, what's this? Oh, he's gone for a can of Pepsi too. Incredible. What a finish. Sensational combination. Look at the delight on his face. There's no doubt about it. It just tastes better. Match days deserve Pepsi. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a pack of Pepsi Zero Sugar for today's match. It's poetry in motion.
Been crazy busy these days? Sounds like you could use a little we time. That means playtime at the AAA Four Diamond Wekopa Casino Resort. Game time with more than 900 slots plus table games. Maybe a tea time on one of 2 nationally ranked courses. And definitely some hang time at WKP Sportsbook, the largest sportsbook in the state. Wekopa Casino Resort. It's we time.
Plumbing problems never knock. They kick down the door at the worst possible time. A burst pipe turning your kitchen into a water park? A clogged drain bubbling like a swamp monster? Don't panic. Gettle wrestles plumbing nightmares for a living. Our perfectionist plumbers handle it all with the precision of a surgeon and the enthusiasm of a game show host. From sewer line repairs to water filtration to tankless water heaters, your home sparkles like we've never even been there, except your plumbing actually works now. Gettle, Goettl, will fix your pipes, but it's hard to spell.
Hi, I'm Tom Shane, third-generation owner at Shane Company. As a family jeweler for almost 100 years, we're known for doing right by our customers. Our legacy of integrity depends on it. We stand behind our engagement rings with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. We handpick the most beautiful diamonds, then negotiate for the best price. At Shane Company, we put you first because a friend always has your back. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Back here on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert hanging out with you here today on the show. We're still without producer Evan. He'll be back with us on Monday. We'll hear from him tomorrow on the show.
Allegedly.
It's true. We don't actually know if he'll call in when he's supposed to. So it is allegedly at this moment, but he's supposed to make open championship picks. So we look forward to doing that tomorrow here on the show. Well, in the meantime, it became official last night. The Suns trade for Miles Bridges became official. There was a lengthy holdup in this deal being approved by the league. It was more just procedural, a lot of moves that they had to work through, a lot of other stuff that needed to be done first. There was never really any jeopardy based on all of the reporting that we had seen over the last couple of days and I guess a week or so that this trade was going to fall through for some reason. It was just a procedural thing of working through all of the paperwork that all of these trades require because I think Charlotte was involved in another deal with multiple teams, and so that always takes a little bit of time. So the deal became official. And in the official release that the Suns put out last night, there's a quote in there from Brian Gregory about, Miles fitting what the team wants from an energy perspective, from an effort level perspective. I'll get the official quote here from NBA.com. Quote, Miles has established himself as a highly productive player whose game continues to evolve. His elite athleticism, strength, and versatility allow him to impact the game on both ends of the floor. He embodies the grit, competitiveness, and work ethic that fit our identity, and we're excited to welcome him to Phoenix, end quote. That is from Suns general manager Brian Gregory last night, the official release that got put out yesterday, making the trade official. Miles Bridges, a 2029 first-round pick and a 2027 second-round pick coming to the Suns for Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, and a 2033 first-round pick. So that deal between the Suns and the Hornets official, and there's the comment there from Brian Gregory. But what have we always said when talking about this? That we want to see what happens when Miles Bridges, when Brian Gregory, when Matt Ishbia have to sit in front of the media, have to sit in front of ABC 15, have to sit in front of Fox 10, have to sit in front of all the Suns beat reporters for the various papers, the Suns podcasters, right? I'm sure our friend of the program, Ben Garcia, going to be there asking tough questions, right? We need to see what their answers are. We need to understand why they felt comfortable trading for Miles Bridges, considering the off-the-court record that Miles Bridges has. They need to explain, because I've said this before. I don't know if I've said it on air. I know I've said it off air to a couple of people that have asked my thoughts about this. And so I'll share it here either for the first time or I'll be repeating myself and you can let me know. The Suns as an organization over the last couple of years have built up some trust with the moves that they have made, right? They have built up some trust in, they seem to know what they're doing. They seem to be identifying the right pieces. They seem to identify the right coach in Jordan Knott. Their draft picks over the last two seasons feel like they have this team on the right track. They have built up some trust. They are now asking all of us to trust them. They are leveraging that trust, I think, in a pretty major way. Because for some of you out there, and please do not take this as me attacking your position, because I understand, and I also have some uneasiness about Miles Bridges being on the Phoenix Suns, considering his history, considering the off-the-court stuff that has gone on with Miles Bridges. That's hard as a fan to reconcile with, right? That's hard. You're not going to be rooting for Miles Bridges, but you want to root for the Suns, and it creates quite a conundrum for you as a fan. And so if you're somebody who doesn't want to root for the team because of it, I totally understand that. I want to see how the team answers this. I want to see how Miles Bridges answers these questions. I want to see if the team is prepared for these questions, as they should be. They should expect these questions to be asked of them, of why they thought Miles Bridges was the right fit, considering the legal history, the off-the-court issues, why they felt this was the right fit for their team, why they felt this was the right risk to take, because it is a risk. And I want to hear from Miles Bridges. I want to hear what he has to say, because when you make a trade for somebody, when you sign somebody in free agency, when you trade for somebody, when you draft somebody, however you acquire a player, that player, when they put on a Suns jersey, is a reflection of the organization, is a reflection of everybody that works in that building, is a reflection of this community, is a reflection of this state. That is, sports teams kind of take on the identity of where they're from. They are a representative of the community. And so I understand some people being like, are we sure here? Are we sure that Miles Bridges is the right person we want to represent the Phoenix Suns brand? Again, considering the off-the-court issues, the legal issues that Miles Bridges has gone through. And listen, Brian Gregory was not going to answer that in a quote that he gave to a press release. So I'm not going to get on Brian Gregory for not talking about it there. You talk about it at the press conference when the questions are asked of you, right? When you get asked, hey, why did you feel comfortable bringing in Miles Bridges, considering what happened in 2022 with the felony domestic violence charges? Why did you feel comfortable having this person be a representative of your organization? That's when they're going to have to answer for it. And they better have good answers. They better not be caught off guard. They better not be surprised by the questions. And this goes for anybody that's going to be up there at the podium. Jordan Ott, Miles Bridges, Matt Ishbia, Brian Gregory, Suns PR. Nobody should be surprised. There are going to be tough questions asked, and how the Suns handle it, I think, is going to go a long way in determining how a lot of people, like myself, who kind of sit on the fence and don't really feel that great about this, how we feel afterwards. Because if you answer it, if you answer these tough questions with respect, if you answer it with the seriousness that it deserves, and you answer these questions detailed and in a way that can tell all of us that you did your homework here, you did your due diligence here, that you understood the magnitude of these charges, of these legal issues, and you understood that you needed to make sure that you were bringing in Miles Bridges that was going to be a good representative of the community. If you do all of that, if you answer those questions in the right way, I think that's going to go a long way to establishing that trust that I think is being tested in a big way right now. Our guy Michael over on YouTube says they're doing it next week. Yeah, I believe next week is when the press conference is going to be. And he says, I'm half in and half out. Puts fans in a tough spot. Absolutely does. It puts fans in a tough spot. It puts me in a tough spot. It puts media members in a tough spot. It's hard to cover this. It's hard to talk about. Because I feel responsible to make sure that everybody's voice is heard. Not just my voice, not just producer Evan's voice, but anybody that could be listening to this show. And I'm sure this move rubs a lot of people the wrong way. So I want to make sure that point of view is represented here on the show. I want to make sure that that point of view does not get lost, because it is a very understandable point of view. And it's one that I currently hold myself, that I just don't feel great about all this. But I want to hear from Miles Bridges. I want to hear from him. I want to hear from Brian Gregory. I want to hear from Matt Ishbia. And I want to hear them take this seriously. They need to show an understanding as to why these questions are going to be asked. Right? They need to understand, hey, I know why you're asking this question. It is a fair, valid question. Here are all of the reasons why we felt comfortable with this. They can't be defensive. They can't be caught off guard. They can't be confrontational. They can't be any of that, because that is going to ultimately make us feel, at least I'm speaking for myself here, feel a lot worse about all this. And I already don't feel great about it. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. When we come back, we have talked about the first 13 games after the All-Star break for the Diamondbacks and how important they are. How many of them do they have to win? That's next, the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
It's the lunch break with Chris Schubert.
The Arizona Diamondbacks went into L.A. and they swept the Los Angeles Dodgers. Dodger Stadium in general has been a pretty friendly place to the Diamondbacks. I know what your gut says about this team. You still, overall, are going to have to see a little bit more before you move off of your stance of this team being a seller at the deadline. We're going to reevaluate, right? I think it would be foolish for the Diamondbacks right now in this moment to start selling.
Live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and streamed live at KDUS 1060 on YouTube.
This ain't pop. This ain't pretty. This is Southern hospitality. The Black Crowes, Whiskey Myers, blues-soaked guitars, outlaw swagger. Rock and roll the way it was meant to be. Loud, raw, and real. The Southern Hospitality Tour. The Black Crowes, Whiskey Myers. Saturday, August 15th, Mortgage Matchup Center. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com.
With a Global Credit Card, you earn reward points for every purchase. Use your rewards at checkout at many of your favorite stores, or use points instead of cash when you shop online. You can even use them to book a flight up to 3 days in advance. New York, Vegas, Albuquerque. From groceries to getaways, redeem your way. Apply for your Global Credit Card now at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities.
Living in the desert, SRP customers have some great questions, like, can I lower my electric bill? The answer is absolutely. A great place to start is making sure you're on a price plan that works best for you. We also have programs to help you use less energy and save money. Plus, as a not-for-profit, SRP already keeps rates as low as possible. SRP, delivering water, power, and answers since 1903. Find ways to save at srp.net.
Get your to-do list ready. The Home Depot just opened a new store in Buckeye, Arizona. So whether you're making simple upgrades or full-on renovations, the Home Depot has you covered with great prices on tools, materials, rentals, and more. Plus, order online or with the Home Depot app, and you can get it all delivered to your door fast and free. Visit us at 20410 West Roosevelt Street in Buckeye and start your project today with the Home Depot.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Home Run Derby was fun last night, and I don't know if the NBA will pick up on this. The winner got $1 million last night. That's more than Jordan Walker makes this year. I think he makes $790. Slam dunk contest. The winner, $105,000. If you're the NBA and you say, we're going to put out $1 million for the slam dunk contest, you're going to get some players that you've heard of. Because as it is now, this is a meaningless moment. But man, I'd up the ante just a little bit.
Weekdays, 6 to 9 a.m.
Wrapping up hour number one here at the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert with you. We got the All-Star game tonight between the National League and the American League in Philadelphia. And then we are back at it Friday. Diamondbacks host the St. Louis Cardinals for a 3-game series. And speaking of that series with the Cardinals, you've got your chance to win 4 tickets. The Diamondbacks when they take on the St. Louis Cardinals this Saturday. For listening on the free KDUS AM 1060 app. So just download the free KDUS AM 1060 app, register, and then log in while you are listening to us. Take us with you on the go, and you'll be entered in to win those tickets over the weekend. The Diamondbacks, 13-game stretch coming out of this All-Star break. We mentioned it to you yesterday. The key to what they do at the deadline. Not just because it's 13 more games and they've already played 90-plus games at this point, but it's who they play in their first 13 games. Take out a 3-game series to close up a homestand against the A's. It is the Cardinals for 4, the Nationals for 3, and the Pirates for 3. All teams that are either directly in front or directly behind the Diamondbacks in this wild card race. This is it. You lose these series to the Cardinals, to the Nationals, to the Pirates, you can kiss your chances of playing meaningful baseball in August and September goodbye. You thrive in these series, you have a chance to make August and September pretty memorable. So how many wins do the Diamondbacks need in this 13-game stretch? Now, I want to be careful because the A's series both matters and doesn't matter, right? It matters because you don't want to lose those games. You don't want to lose 2 of 3. You don't want to get swept by the A's. So you want to win the series. But I'm placing a higher importance level on the games against the Cardinals, the Nationals, and the Pirates for obvious reasons. Because those are the games that are going to determine if the Diamondbacks can actually be right on the doorstep of a playoff spot when August 3rd rolls around. 13 games. How many do they need to win? I'll tell you what, they've got to win that series against the Cardinals. So we're talking at least 2 of 3. So let's do it this way. You want to win that series. You got to go at least 2-1. 3 against the A's. We said not as important, but we can't. We're not in the business of giving away series. This team is not in a place where they can afford a letdown, even though it's not against a direct competitor in the wild card race. Got to win 2 out of 3 there. So you got to go at least 4-2 in the first 6 games. And you're home. You get to set up the pitching the way you want it with all the days off. 4-2, guaranteed. A makeup game in St. Louis. It's in St. Louis. You're going to Washington right after that. I could see that being a little bit of a letdown spot. Let's call it 4-3 now. You got to win 2 of 3 against Washington. Gets us to 6-4. And you've got to win at least 2 of 3 against Pittsburgh. I think bare minimum, you've got to go 8-5. 8-5 in that 13-game stretch. And I don't know if that's even going to be enough, but I feel good about 8-5. 8-5 gets you 5 games above 500. I can start to take you seriously in the playoff race 5 games above 500. Because 5 games above 500 is what the Cardinals are right now, 1 game out of the 3rd and final wild card spot. The Marlins are only 7 games above 500. So you got to win the series against the Cardinals. You got to win all 4 of these series. You just do. Now, maybe if you sweep one series, you can afford a series loss someplace else to make it up. But 8-5 is the bare minimum they have to go in these 13 games. 8-5. I saw a stat today. The Diamondbacks have the 2nd best record in intra-division games this season. I think they're 21-11 in intra-division games, meaning against the fellow teams in the NL West. That's the thing that's keeping them afloat right now. They've beaten up on the Giants. They've beaten up on the Rockies. They've held their own against the Padres. They've held their own against the Dodgers. I mean, that's their ticket to being 2 games above 500 and still having a fighter's chance. They've beaten up on the bad teams in the West, and they've surprisingly held their own against the Dodgers, and the Padres and them are like looking in a mirror. They've done decently well against them. Again, not great, but they haven't fallen on their face. So this is the test. They're 21-11 against the teams in the NL West. They're 49-47 overall. You can do that math of what it looks like when they're not playing those teams. Guess what? Cardinals, Washington, Pittsburgh, those are not teams in your division, but they are the most important teams you are going to play between now and the end of the regular season. 7-6 isn't good enough. Continuing to just hover around 500 isn't going to allow you to feel good enough about this team being a buyer. You make a statement, you go 8-5 or better, you win all of these series, you beat St. Louis, you beat Washington in Washington, you beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. That's something that you can hold on to. That's something that's tangible. That's something you can point to say, they beat the Dodgers, they swept the Dodgers, they've built momentum, we got to take them seriously, we got to ride this out. They're hot. If they can stay hot, they can be a playoff team. But it's right here. It's these 13 games. It's 3 against St. Louis this weekend. The A's just kind of stuck in the middle of this. But the first 6 at home, it's got to be 4-2. And if you can go 5-1, if you can somehow sweep both of these series and go 6-0, I mean, you are going to feel great about things. You start things on Friday. You start the second half, quote unquote, second half of the season on Friday on a 4-game winning streak. Keep that thing rolling, man. Keep that thing rolling. Take 2 of 3 from St. Louis. Move closer to them in the wild card standings. I think we did the math yesterday. That would put you just, I think, a half game behind them. You would close the gap. That's what you got to start doing. That's why these series are so important. It's how you bridge the gap. You don't have to worry about the out-of-town scoreboard. You can handle the business yourself. You can handle it yourself. The Diamondbacks start a 13-game stretch on Friday that will define their season. They have to go 8-5 to keep themselves in this. That's the bar we're setting for them. Hour number 1 of the program in the books. When we come back, a lot more baseball for you because it is another day, another example of the tension that is growing between the owners and the players. I'll explain how next. The lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Hey, it's John Holmberg here from the Morning Sickness to tell you about lifted trucks. Every time I drive down that road and I see lifted trucks, I end up slowing down and taking a look. Not because I need another car, just because their inventory looks ridiculous. If you're the kind of person who sees a stock truck and immediately starts thinking about tires, suspension, upgrading the wheels, lighting package, or making it uniquely yours, stop. Lifted Trucks is the place to go. And the best part is they're not just selling trucks, they're building them. Their team can customize your vehicle exactly the way you want it. Whether you're looking for a mild upgrade or a complete head-turning transformation, that's the place. They've got lifted trucks, Jeeps, SUVs, diesels, work trucks, and vehicles that look like they should come with their own action movie soundtrack. Even if you're not ready to buy today, stop in and see what's possible. You'll get ideas you didn't know you needed. And if you're ready to upgrade your ride, nobody does that better than the team at Lifted Trucks. Get their inventory on your eyes. See the custom builds right there in their lot. You don't have to do any work. It's done for you. And find your next vehicle at liftedtrucks.com. Lifted Trucks. Work hard, play hard, drive harder.
Somber presents You Are the Reason Tour. Fresh from selling out shows all around the world. See Somber live in Glendale. Desert Diamond Arena, October 14th, with special guests Tom Odell and The Help. Get tickets now at sombermusic.com.
Been crazy busy these days? Sounds like you could use a little we time. That means playtime at the AAA 4-Diamond Wekopa Casino Resort. Game time with more than 900 slots plus table games. Maybe a tea time on one of 2 nationally ranked courses. And definitely some hang time at WKP Sportsbook, the largest sportsbook in the state. Wekopa Casino Resort. It's we time.
Living in the desert, SRP customers have some great questions, like, can I lower my electric bill? The answer is absolutely. A great place to start is making sure you're on a price plan that works best for you. We also have programs to help you use less energy and save money. Plus, as a not-for-profit, SRP already keeps rates as low as possible. SRP, delivering water, power, and answers since 1903. Find ways to save at srp.net.
When your auto insurance shows up, every call, every claim, every day, that's a win. J.D. Power has ranked AAA #1 for auto insurance customer satisfaction in the Southwest, 2 years running. Get a quote at AAA.com/quote. Visit JDPower.com for details.
The KDUS AM 1060 app is brought to you by Law Bear Auto Accident Attorneys. Hurry to lawbear.com.
That's lawbear.com. The bear has your back.
Hour number 2 of the lunch break right here, KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert hanging out with you here today on the show. Boy, I got to tell you, I miss buy or sell. I do. Hottest takes in the valley. Producer Evan putting it together, buying or selling, playing the sounder. I miss it. We just had a couple last week when I returned from vacation. It's been a while. It's going to be 3 weeks since we've done a full-blown buy or sell week here on the show. So that first buy or sell on Monday is it's going to be good. It may be the best buy or sell we have ever done. I don't want to hype it up too much, but it may be the best buy or sell that we've ever done. The one on Monday. Coming back. Both of us here. Ready to go. Training camp right around the corner in the NFL. I mean, I second half of the baseball season. I mean, it's not going to get any better than that buy or sell on Monday. But no buy or sell. But I do have a very interesting story that I want to start hour number 2 with. Jeff Passan this morning on ESPN said or reported that the owners, the Major League Baseball owners, have, I don't want to say have changed their mind, but support has been gathered. That's the phrase that Passan used. To allow the big league players to play in the Olympics in 2028. The Los Angeles Games, right? The Olympics will be in LA in 2028. Baseball's there. There's been a lot of talk about letting the pros play. We saw the success of the U.S. hockey team this year. That's kind of what put this conversation once again front and center. And I think baseball has seen, we talked about this in the open, they're a wave of momentum. This could be another thing for them to capitalize on that wave. And one of the major stumbling blocks has always been, are the owners really going to be okay with taking time off in the middle of the season, right? Summer Olympics, so this is going to be in the middle of the baseball season. And I'm sure you would just build your all-star break around it, but take a break. And then if the pros, if the superstars go and represent their countries, you run the risk of injuries this late in the season when teams are making a playoff push, right? That was always kind of same concern with the WBC, right? But there apparently has been support that has been gathered. Again, I'll use Passon's phrase. Major League Baseball has gathered support from owners to allow big league players to participate in the Olympics for the first time. That's the good news. The bad news is that there are disagreements with the owners and the union about hotel rooms, about tickets, and about mandatory participation agreement. Passon says that they have had a conversation over the last couple of months that have created conflict, and that there are officials with the LA Olympic Committee looking for a prompt resolution. The plan would be to shut down Major League Baseball for 11 days to accommodate an all-star game on the West Coast that would be right before the 6-team tournament scheduled to be played at Dodger Stadium. The MLBPA hasn't been willing to agree to that proposal because they want a deal similar to what the International Olympic Committee signed with the NHL and the NHLPA. And again, the WBC plays a role here. These are the potential complications. Hotel rooms, tickets, insurance, NIL rights, and apparently a mandatory participation agreement proposed by the league that would place players who run afoul of the requirements on the restricted list without pay or service time from July 12th to August 3rd. Apparently, the reason why MLB wants to mandate participation is to make sure that stars like Ohtani and Judge participate on the world stage. Now, listen, there's the Olympic side of this that I want to touch on. I think it would be a mistake for these two sides to not be able to come to an agreement on the framework to get these guys to play in the Olympics. And I think both sides are really, really smart, and they will figure this out because I think this is something that they can figure out. But isn't this the perfect example of why there is so much fear over the current labor talks? I mean, these two sides can't even agree on something that is outside the bounds of the CBA, right? I mean, this is something that isn't the financial model of the sport. This isn't how much you're paying, young players in the minor leagues. This isn't minimum salaries at the big league level. This isn't service time. This isn't international draft. This isn't, changing the MLB draft rules. This is the 2028 Olympics are coming up. We've seen the success of the WBC. We've seen the success of NHL players playing in the Olympics for hockey and Team USA winning and the buzz and excitement that created. We've seen the excitement of international sports lately with the World Cup. We've seen all of this. We want to capitalize on it. We want to get our sport, soccer, hockey, they're involved. NFL players are going to play flag football in the Olympics, right? All of this. Baseball, they want to get involved. Baseball wants to have their stars included. They can't agree on hotel rooms. They can't agree on tickets. They can't agree on the participation rules. If they can't agree on this, if they can't agree on something that in the grand scheme of things is relatively simple to work out, what is supposed to give me confidence that they are going to be able to get back to the bargaining table and get a CBA done? What am I supposed to point to? What's the example of good news here? Because even in a story that presents good news, that, hey, the owners are actually kind of changing their tune a little bit. That's the phrase I was looking for earlier. Changing their tune and are kind of open to this idea. And you're supposed to get excited by that. And then you read on and you go, oh, not really. Because they want to force participation and the union won't go for all these other things that are in there. And it's just a mess. And so if we can't agree on the 2028 Olympics and how Major League Baseball and the Players Union are going to be able to participate, how are we supposed to think they're going to bridge the gap between salary cap and no salary cap? Changing the entire financial model of the sport or just updating the existing one? What we're going to do about the international draft that Major League Baseball wants to create. What we're going to do about changing the draft rules that the owners have been pushing. We can't agree on the Olympics. We can't agree on potentially the easiest thing in the world to agree on. Oh, hey, the superstars want to play in the Olympics? Yeah, that'd be good for us. Okay, what do we need to do? Okay, this? All right, let's do it. Great. And if you're the owners, if you're the union, wouldn't you want to try to get a small win on the board to try to thaw out this relationship, to hopefully bridge the gap? Don't you want to find the easy win? This, I don't believe, and I can be corrected on this, but I don't believe this deal between the Olympics, Major League Baseball, and the union is wrapped up into the CBA. I think it's a totally separate agreement. So why wouldn't you be like, hey, you know what? This is a chance for us to come together on a totally separate issue. Let's put the CBA stuff to the side right now. Let's just hammer these details out. Let's get this deal done, and let's get everybody a win. Let's get the sport a win. Let's get the owners a win. Let's get the players union a win. Let's get the professionals into the Olympics playing baseball in 2028, and we can point to, hey, we are able to work together. We are able to communicate. We are able to maybe put some small differences aside and come to a deal, come to an agreement on something that benefits the sport at large. Now, it's not going to mean that you're going to bridge all your differences in the CBA talks, but at least it's something positive. At least it's something that can give somebody like me, a diehard baseball fan that is petrified at the idea of losing this sport for not just a month or two. I'm talking losing an entire season. That's what they are staring down at right now. They are staring at losing an entire season of baseball. And these two sides, I'm going to use the phrase. I'm going to say it. I don't like using this word. I don't. I think it should be reserved for very serious matters. You've got two sides that hate each other. You've got two sides that despise each other so much right now that there is such a lack of trust on both sides, right or wrong. They hate each other. They despise each other, that they can't even agree on something that is separate from everything else. Because both sides are so worried about everything else. They can't see the forest through the trees. That's how embedded into this mess these two sides currently are. We've got 5 months, less than that, till the CBA expires. They can't get a deal done for the Olympics because they're arguing over tickets and hotel rooms and NIL insurance. You're telling me, Rob Manfred, the Players Union, some representation for the owners, some representation for the players, we can't all get into a room, order lunch, and listen, set the ground rules ahead of time. We are not discussing anything related to the CBA right now. None of what we are discussing in this room has anything to do with our labor talks. This is about being able to represent your country in this tournament that the Olympics wants to put together for baseball. That's what this is about. How do we bridge that gap? And just focus on that. You're telling me that there isn't one person that can stand up, and this is where it's on Manfred, it's on the union, Put all that stuff aside and get this done. Give yourself a win because perhaps maybe it thaws it out. Maybe it starts to make both sides go, okay, we are able to get stuff done. We are able to agree on some things. We are able to compromise here. They'll compromise there. We can get to a deal. This is going to be a huge L. We just talked about the momentum, the wave of momentum that baseball currently is riding right now, that they're in danger of losing. Can you imagine in the next 5 months, we lose the ability for professionals to play in the Olympics and then we go into a labor stoppage? I mean, it would take all of that momentum and it would throw it right out the window. It would throw it directly in the trash. The WBC is a overwhelming success. Overwhelming. You've got the United States, the Dominican Republic, and Venezuela all already qualified for the Olympics. Those are 3 teams that are going to bring massive star power. You thought it was exciting to watch the WBC? Let me let you in on a little secret. The WBC is a made-up tournament. It's made up by Major League Baseball. They're the ones that run it. It's the gold medal for representing your country. How long have we been doing the Olympics? Forever, basically? The WBC is a made-up event. I love it. I don't want it to go anywhere. In fact, expand it, do more with it. The Olympics that's a different game. That's a different playing field, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking a gold medal for representing your country on the world stage. You're telling me we're going to argue over hotel rooms and tickets and NIL stuff? We can't get that done? What a disaster it would be. What a disaster. But that's where these two sides are at right now. That's where these two sides are at right now. For those of you who are unfamiliar, the tournament for this Olympics in 2028, 6 teams will be placed into 2 3-team divisions. Everybody will face each other in a round-robin format. The countries at the top of the standings will advance to the semifinals. The other 4 teams will meet in the quarterfinals. So you kind of seed yourself by playing everybody, and then you get put into a bracket. And the way it would work, MLB would end its first half on July 9th. The Home Run Derby would be July 10th. The All-Star Game would be on July 11th. The tournament would start on July 13th. And the regular season for baseball would restart on July 21st. But we can't put our differences aside to allow these players to represent their countries at the highest level in sports. Can't do it. We despise each other so much. The union and the owners hate each other so much. They don't trust each other to the point where they can't even get this done. It's really telling. It is really telling about where things stand less than 5 months out from the CBA expiring and us staring down at a very lengthy labor stoppage. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. When we come back, what can the Cardinals do to bridge the gap? That's next. The lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
The Jim Rome Show.
Conor McGregor v. Max Holloway. The quote, fight was over before it even started, with McGregor seemingly shredding his knee after running out and attempting to throw a single ill-advised kick. Maybe he knew he couldn't last with Max Holloway. Maybe he was looking to end it as spectacularly as possible. I don't know.
The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, here on KDUS AM 1060.
This is Michael with Restore My Civil Rights. As America celebrates 250 years of freedom, we honor those who fought to secure and defend it. Because freedom is not something to be taken for granted, Restore My Civil Rights assists eligible men and women in dismissing historical criminal convictions and restoring their civil rights and gun rights. To book a free consultation today, call 855-GUN-RIGHTS or visit RestoreMyCivilRights.com. That's RestoreMyCivilRights.com. Because freedom worth having is freedom worth fighting for.
Hi, everybody. Jay Leno here. You know, I love doing live stand-up comedy. No politics, no lectures. I'm not giving you my opinion on every issue of the day. Just nothing but jokes. So come by, check it out, and we'll have a lot of fun. Oh, it's clean, too.
Jay Leno live on stage. Friday, November 27th, Salt River Grand Ballroom at Talking Stick Resort. Tickets are on sale now at TalkingStickResort.com.
Come on by, check out the show.
Your local Arizona Lottery retailer is full of new and exciting possibilities because draw games just got an upgrade with more prizes, more drawings, and more chances to win. Your favorite draw games like Powerball, The Pick, and Pick 3 are now better than ever. Games start at just $1, so you don't have to pick one. You can play all 4 new and improved draw games today, including the brand new Pick 4 game. Play today at a retailer near you. Arizona Lottery. Love the play.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. The Home Run Derby exceeded expectations, and by the end of the night, it had something every league wants: stars, drama, and a memorable finish. The Cardinals' Jordan Walker walked away with a trophy and $1 million. That prize is more than just a nice bonus. It could be a blueprint for other leagues trying to revive struggling showcase events. Take the NBA Slam Dunk Contest. What was once one of the most anticipated events on the sports calendar has lost its appeal. And that's largely due to the league's biggest stars no longer willing to participate. Last year's winner earned just over $100,000. Now that's meaningful, but hardly enough to convince a superstar making $50 million a year to risk injury or embarrassment. If the NBA truly wants to restore the dunk contest to its former glory, the conversation shouldn't be just about changing the rules. It should start by making the reward worth chasing. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. These days, everybody's searching for ways to save on insurance. Scrolling comparison sites, digging through tips, chasing deals. But Liberty Mutual makes it simple. Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance to save you money. And when you bundle, those savings really start to come through. It's insurance built for real people with a team that helps you keep what matters most: money. No hassle, just confidence that your coverage is customized with savings in mind. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local independent agent. Tires matter. They're the only part of your vehicle that touches the road. Tread confidently with new tires from Tire Rack. Whether you're looking for expert recommendations or know exactly what you want, Tire Rack makes it really easy. Fast, free shipping, free road hazard protection, convenient installation options, and the best selection of General tires. Go to TireRack.com/Dan to see their General tire test results, tire ratings, and reviews, and be sure to check out all the special offers. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Back here on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060. Thanks for hanging out with us here today on the show. I told you we would dive back in to Jacoby Brissett's contract dispute. And I read a story over on Revenge of the Birds today about how the Cardinals can get creative with Jacoby Brissett's contract. And that's the main thing I want to focus on, is what this is ultimately going to look like for Jacoby Brissett. But I was reminded by Johnny Venerable, host of the PHNX Cardinals podcast. They do a great job, him and Bo. Love listening to them throughout the course of the season. They do a great job covering the Cardinals every single day. But he quote tweeted Ian Rappaport's tweet from April 17th. And he reminded me of the way Rappaport phrased his tweet. So I'm going to read it to you because he quote tweeted it. So it's right here. This is April 17th from Ian Rappaport. Source: Arizona Cardinals Jacoby Brissett is not attending phase 1 of the offseason program and is asking for an extension that pays him as the starter. Brissett, set to make $9.06 million in 26, has only $1.5 million in guaranteed money and wants security. AZ appears willing to address it, end quote. And as Johnny pointed out on Twitter, it's that last sentence that has gotten us to this place today. 8 days out of training camp, I would not describe it as addressed between Jacoby Brissett and the Arizona Cardinals. I would say that they have failed in that regard if they were truly willing to address it. And if they were willing to address it, you'd like to think we wouldn't be taking this all the way up to midnight. We wouldn't be taking this all the way up to the last possible second, because it's the 2-minute drill here, ladies and gentlemen. We're down 7. We've got the ball. It's in our control, but we're down 7. We don't have any of our timeouts. We got to go 85 yards. Doesn't feel very likely that something gets done here in the next 8 days. But that's where we're at. I also noticed that in that tweet by Rappaport, he referenced it as a extension, which is more than just a raise. And again, we've been playing these word games, right? All offseason long. We've been playing these word games. Extension, raise, Buda Baker coming in saying, oh, he doesn't want what you think he wants. We have never really been able to truly get a grasp of what these two sides are arguing over. So that's why when I see a story on Revenge of the Birds, SB Nation site that covers the Cardinals, and it says that the Cardinals can get creative with Jacoby Brissett's contract, and they talk about putting incentives in his deal, game incentives, performance incentives, playoff incentives. So bonuses for every win the Cardinals get. Bonuses for all of that, a certain number of passing yards, touchdowns, all of that stuff, certain number of snaps, all of that can lead to Brissett being paid more. While I appreciate the creativity, while I appreciate attempting to think outside of the box, why would Jacoby Brissett go for that? Jacoby Brissett is not going to go for a deal that pays him more money if and only if they go to the postseason. If and only if they win a playoff game, right? Because that's what this suggests, right? $2 million if they win the Super Bowl, $1 million if they win the NFC Championship, $500,000 for a divisional playoff win, $75,000 for each win during the regular season. They're projected to win 4.5 games in Vegas. So let's say they win 4 or 5 games. We're not talking the type of money that Jacoby Brissett is looking for. Jacoby's probably looking for $15 to $20 million for next season. Best case scenario under these incentives, you're talking a couple $100,000. If you add in some specific incentives for him, right? Passing yards, passing touchdowns, percentage of snaps. Okay, maybe you can get him a couple of million, but you're not going to have $8 to $10 million worth of incentives in this deal. He's not going to go for that. That's not the security that he's looking for, right? Let me read the tweet again. Brissett set to make $9.06 million in 26, has only $1.5 million in guaranteed money and wants security. AZ appears willing to address it. That's from April 17th. A deal that has incentives in it, many of which are not super achievable incentives, is not the security that Jacoby Brissett is looking for. That is not the change to the guaranteed money that Jacoby Brissett is looking for. The security and the guaranteed money is you give him a raise for this season. That is what Jacoby Brissett is looking for. That is what he has been in search of this entire offseason. And apparently, the Cardinals have been willing to address it, yet up until this point, haven't been able to get a deal done. And if you missed it yesterday, I talked about how it's crazy that neither side has leaked anything in a while. That you would think if the Cardinals had put an offer out there that Jacoby Brissett had said no to, they would leak it to have a little bit of a leg up. Or Jacoby Brissett would leak something to give him a leg up in negotiations. Right? What he's looking for in this new deal. But that hasn't happened. And so I asked yesterday, are they even communicating? And again, Johnny putting out this tweet this morning kind of reminded me of it. They said Arizona is willing to address it. Then why hasn't it been addressed? You're telling me that since April 17th, so April 17th, that's the 4th month of the year, okay? May, June, now July. That tweet was April 17th. If it's okay with you, the 17th of July is coming up in a couple of days. I'm going to round for the sake of my argument, if that's all right with everybody. You're willing to address it. You're that far apart that in 3 months, you haven't been able to bridge the gap? You're that far apart that this can't get done? That's craziness. It's nonsense for this to not be done. So I don't know if Arizona is willing to address it. I'm not so sure. Our guy Code over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube channel, which is one of the 2 ways you can get involved with the show, says based on the current Cardinals QB room, an incentive-based deal like that is an outright tell that they are 100% planning on playing Beck at some point this season. It's a great point, Code. It's another reason why he wouldn't go for a incentive-laden deal, right? One, it doesn't achieve the goals that he wanted in a new deal, the security and the guaranteed money, right? It doesn't do that. But also, there's an easy way for the Cardinals to not hold up their end of the bargain, which is, oh, hey, Carson Beck's going to start the final 8 games of the season, the final 9 games of the season. So you can't get those win bonuses. You can't get those statistical bonuses. Jacoby Brissett's not going to go for that. You're right. It's a tell. You're right. It would almost confuse me if they put that deal in front of him and he agreed to it. It would confuse me as to what we've been arguing over all this time. Because unfortunately, there's an easy way out for the Cardinals to put that in front of him, and it can get leaked to the media, all this money that Jacoby Brissett has the ability to make, when you and I both know that if it's all incentive-laden, if it's all based on statistics and results from the team, the Cardinals could very easily just say, yeah, you know what, Carson Beck's our starter now. Because we know they're not going to win a lot of games. So once they start losing some games, they can be like, you know what, we got to change it up. We're trying to win. We got to go with the quarterback that gives us the best chance. Then all of a sudden, Jacoby Brissett's not making any more money than the money that he was originally supposed to make. So he's not going to go for that. And again, I'm not knocking the story. Listen, I appreciate the creativity. I appreciate somebody trying to figure out how this gap can be bridged. Because I'm still confused why we're in this mess in the first place. But a incentive-laden deal, a deal that is based on the idea of performance-based incentives, is just not something the Cardinals, I shouldn't say this. The Cardinals may go for it. Jacoby Brissett is not going to go for it. He is not going to go for that kind of deal. And by the way, nor should he, because it does not check any of the boxes. It does not provide him with more security, and it does not change any of the guaranteed money in a significant way. Maybe they can bump it up to $3 million or $4 million in guaranteed money. That's not, Jacoby Brissett is not holding out over $1.5 million. He thinks he should be guaranteed $15, $20 million for next season. That's what he thinks. You putting a incentive structured deal in front of him that bumps up his guarantee by a little bit is, guess what? This hold-in's going to continue then, if that's the case. So I don't know how you bridge the gap, other than giving him a raise and giving him more guaranteed money for this season. Giving him $13 million guaranteed this season for a one-year raise. $14 million, whatever the case may be. I get not giving him a long-term extension. I get not going to $25, $30 million. Those two things I get. But I think if you put $15 to $20 million in front of him right now as a raise for 1 year, and you made it mostly guaranteed, if not fully guaranteed, we're not arguing over anything. This is signed, and Brissett is in camp. No problem. We're not worried about a hold-in or a hold-out. And it's let's go. It's off to the races. But instead, this is where we stand. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. When we come back, do the Diamondbacks have enough pitching? That's next, the lunch break KDUS AM 1060.
It's the lunch break with Chris Schubert.
The Arizona Diamondbacks went into L.A. and they swept the Los Angeles Dodgers. Dodger Stadium in general has been a pretty friendly place to the Diamondbacks. I know what your gut says about this team. You still, overall, are going to have to see a little bit more before you move off of your stance of this team being a seller at the deadline. We're going to reevaluate, right? I think it would be foolish for the Diamondbacks right now in this moment to start selling.
Live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and streamed live at KDUS 1060 on YouTube.
The summer is finally here, and it's time to take advantage of Zero Res's best deal of the summer. Zero Res can handle every surface in your home. Carpets, tile and grout, hardwood, laminate, upholstery, rugs, air ducts, and more. And Zero Res is offering a flash sale this week. Get 3 rooms plus a free hallway cleaning for only $109. Don't let rising gas prices stop you from having a clean, healthy home. Zero Res is keeping comfort affordable with powerful cleaning at a price families can feel good about. Visit ZeroResPhoenix.com and ask for the KDUS special. That's ZeroResPhoenix.com or call 480-507-2419. That's 480-507-2419 for Zero Res. This week's flash sale, get 3 rooms plus a free hallway cleaning for only $109. Spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res.
The long goodbye begins. A very special evening with Journey. Final Frontier Tour. September 15th, Mortgage Matchup Center. The lights go down one final time. Tickets are on sale now at JourneyMusic.com. Journey. Final Frontier Tour.
When you hear crunch, whine, boing, Alaskan AC will arrive to fix it in less than 24 hours from the first crunch, whine, boing. No matter what kind of crunch, whine, or boing your AC is making, we fix it on your schedule.
That's huge. We guarantee to be there in 24 hours or less, or the repair is free.
We not only get there fast, we Polar Bear promise we'll get the job done right.
We believe you deserve fresh air free of humidity in every room of your home, and you should never hear crunch, whine, boing. If you do, call Alaskan AC, and we guarantee we'll be there in under 24 hours.
If we don't make it, your repair will be free.
No matter how big the crunch,
boing,
or whine.
Wait, I thought I was whine.
You're crunch.
I'm crunch. You're boing.
I don't think I'm boing. Gary's more of a boing than me.
William is crunch.
Schedule now and tell us who boing is. Only at AlaskanAC.com.
America First Credit Union has everything you need to get your money working. And for a limited time, new members get a $150 cash bonus for opening a checking account and $200 more for enrolling in and using direct deposit. If you're ready to do more with your money and get up to $350 cash, head to AmericaFirst.com and become a member today. Subject to membership, eligibility, terms, creditworthiness, change, and conditions. Additional requirements may apply. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal Opportunity Lender.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Home Run Derby was fun last night, and I don't know if the NBA will pick up on this. The winner got $1 million last night. That's more than Jordan Walker makes this year. I think he makes $790. Slam dunk contest. The winner, $105,000. If you're the NBA and you say, we're going to put out $1 million for the slam dunk contest, you're going to get some players that you've heard of. Because as it is now, this is a meaningless moment. But man, I'd up the ante just a little bit.
Weekdays, 6 to 9 a.m.
Back here on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert hanging out with you here today on the show. Little World Cup update for you. Spain has taken a 1-0 lead. A penalty in the 23rd minute or so has given Spain the early 1-0 lead. This is my World Cup final today because Spain is the last team that I have in our draft. Producer Evan has all of the 3 other teams. He has France, he has Argentina, he has England. So I am up against it right now. But I am currently up 1-0. He's guaranteed to lose at least one team in the other game. And if I win this game, then it is 1-on-1 for the title. So this will determine if this trade that I made was worth it. But you move up to have the top pick to get Spain for games like this, for moments like this, and they're already up 1-0. So I feel pretty good about where things stand here. With about 10 minutes or so to go in the first half. The Diamondbacks will start their second half on Friday against the St. Louis Cardinals. And the question that is on everybody's mind, even though they just swept the Dodgers this past weekend, are they going to have enough pitching? I think it's fair to say they've got an ace. Eduardo Rodriguez is an ace. I think it's fair to say that they have some candidates to be a decent number two. They've got Merrill Kelly, who is having a good month in July, but has been up and down. If they get that Merrill Kelly the rest of the month, then they have themselves a number two. Brendan Pfaadt, since coming back up from Reno, has put together 3 really good starts. While results-wise it wasn't the most impressive, I think the start most recently against the Dodgers is the most impressive because of who it was against. His first 2 starts were against the Padres and the Giants, so you kind of take those and they have a little bit of an asterisk next to them. Against the Dodgers, 5 1/3, just a 2 runs allowed. It's a little different. Mitch Bratt, you don't know what he's going to be able to give you. You've got Zach Allen and Michael Soroka right now sitting on the injured list. You're going to get Soroka back here potentially at some point soon after the All-Star break. But this is the question. Do they have enough pitching? Erod, yes. Right now, this version of Merrill Kelly, yes. Brendan Pfaadt, 3 for 3 so far, so okay, but I'm still uneasy about it. But that's it. That's it. Mitch Bratt's not in there yet. Zach Allen's at least out for another couple turns through the rotation. At least. Michael Soroka, we don't know when he's going to be back yet. So this is all going to be about the pitching. You're going to have more than likely Merrill Kelly going on Friday, Mitch Bratt on Saturday, Eduardo Rodriguez on Sunday. So I think you feel good about 2 of those 3 pitching matchups. Again, the July version of Merrill Kelly has been great, but it's been good month, bad month, good month, bad month, good month for Merrill Kelly this year. So this is the question. Do they have enough pitching? Right now, I'd have to lean towards no. I mean, right now, you look at their depth chart, they've only got 4 starters. So that's problem number 1. They don't even have 5 healthy options right now. Now, maybe Jose Cabrera comes back up and he's an option. Other starters that they have on the 40-man right now are Dylan Ray and Cole Drake, but that's it. Everybody else, there would need to be a 40-man move. There would need to be somebody activated from the injured list. Now, they've got a 40-man spot, so they can add somebody if they want, but I don't know if any of the options that you've got down in Reno, you're going to be in a rush to call up right now. And so this remains the major problem. Offense just scored 23 runs in 3 games against the Dodgers. You feel really good about that. You feel good about the production you're getting from the bottom of the lineup lately. Tim Tawa came up. James McCann was in the lineup the other day producing. Ryan Waldschmidt, since coming back up, has produced. You look at this lineup and you think they're going to be okay. You think they're going to be able to score. It's the pitching that is the problem. Do they have enough of it? And even with Brendan Pfaadt turning it around, even with Eduardo Rodriguez continuing to be an ace, there just is not enough starting pitching for you to feel really confident. That's why this 13-game stretch coming out of the second half is going to be so important, because if they stay hot and they get the pitching, at least in a short little spurt, then you can go out and get the reinforcements. You can trade for a starter. I think you'd like to get 2, but you can at least get 1. And then if you get Soroka back, okay, now you've got 5, 6 options. It starts to feel a little different. But right now, I just don't feel it. I don't feel like this team has enough pitching, and it's going to be the thing they would need to buy at the deadline if they are in a position to do so. No doubt about it. Buying a pitcher, buying a starter is what they would need to do. 480-864-1060. Phone number for you to join us, and you've got limited time. You've got really one more opportunity to get in on the phone lines. You've also got the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. That's your better way to get involved with the program, considering I am the host, producer, and call screener today here for the show. We're doing it all week long. So if you want to hang out with us, you want to get your thoughts in here before we get done, the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream is your best way, your best chance to do that. Hey, download the free KDUS AM 1060 app. You can take us with you on the go. You can listen to the lunch break wherever you may be. Dan Patrick, Jim Rome, The Rooster in the afternoons. On the weekend, you can listen to NASCAR, IndyCar. Anywhere you are, you can take KDUS AM 1060 with you. All you got to do, download the free KDUS AM 1060 app. You also have a chance to win 4 tickets to the Diamondbacks when they take on the Cardinals this Saturday against the Cardinals at Chase Field. That's a 1:10 start. We've got your chance to win some tickets for listening on KDUS AM 1060 and the free KDUS AM 1060 app. When we come back, we'll give you an update on how things stand in the semifinal of the World Cup. And it's also all the stories we didn't get to here today on the show. We call them the leftovers. We'll get to them next. The lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
The Jim Rome Show.
Conor McGregor v. Max Holloway. The quote, fight was over before it even started, with McGregor seemingly shredding his knee after running out and attempting to throw a single ill-advised kick. Maybe he knew he couldn't last with Max Holloway. Maybe he was looking to end it as spectacularly as possible. I don't know.
The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, here on KDUS AM 1060.
430 people in the Valley died from the heat last year. This summer, more lives are at risk. For someone living on the street, the heat can quickly become deadly. No shade, no water, no relief. This is tragic. And it's preventable. Thanks to you, Phoenix Rescue Mission is providing life-saving water and critical care to our neighbors in need. Help save lives this summer. Learn more at phoenixrescuemission.org/code red.
Chicago Sticks, the Windy Cities Tour. Finally, 2 iconic bands together for the first time. September 1st, Mortgage Matchup Center. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Chicago and Sticks. All the hits. Your kind of tour.
Winning once, that's a good season. But building a streak, that takes showing up. Every call, every claim, every day. AAA Auto Insurance is ranked number 1 for auto insurance customer satisfaction in the Southwest by J.D. Power, 2 years in a row. And we don't take this repeat for granted, because trust isn't given, it's earned. Join the millions of satisfied drivers who choose AAA Auto Insurance. Get a quote at AAA.com/quote. For J.D. Power 2025 award information, visit JDPower.com/awards.
Hi, I'm the VP of Play at Harrah's Auction Casino, and it's time to make your summer shine with Summer Playfest. Now through Labor Day, live music, weekly winners, and one lucky guest takes home a brand new Jeep Rubicon. With Caesars Rewards, you could win your share of more than $700,000 in cash and prizes. Summer Playfest at Harrah's Auction Casino. Play for all. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700 or 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Visit the Caesars Rewards Center for details.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Back here on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060, Chris Schubert with you. Thanks for hanging out with us here today on the show. We are wrapping things up before we hand things off to Jim Rome at the top of the hour. And it is time for all the stories we didn't get to here today on the show. We call them the leftovers. Usually this is where producer Evan has a bunch of stories for me, and I'm surprised by them today and really all week. And the end of last week, I've been doing the leftovers, so I know what stories are coming. But first, we'll start with the World Cup update. They're finishing up. They are in stoppage time of the first half of the first semifinal game of the 2026 World Cup. Spain right now leading France 1-0. A penalty in the 22nd minute, 23rd minute, put Spain up 1-0. And right now they are about 2 minutes away from having that lead going into the half and being just 45 minutes or so away from reaching the final, which I believe is on either Saturday or Sunday in New Jersey. So they are right now leading 1-0. And again, just about a minute or two away from going into the half with the lead. The other World Cup semifinal between Argentina and England, that one takes place tomorrow at 12 o'clock. So in the middle of our show tomorrow, that one will get underway. England against Argentina. You know, I don't know who's favored in that game. Let's take a quick little peek here. It looks like England is a slight favorite. Yeah, England minus a half a goal. They're plus 175 on the money line. Argentina's plus 190 on the money line. A draw is plus 185 on the money line. So they think in likelihood, England win, a draw going into extra time, or Argentina winning in that order. So Spain leading 1-0 going into the half, or at least a couple seconds away from going into the half. England against Argentina tomorrow. We'll keep you updated on all of that. Speaking of the World Cup, our first leftover story for you. Flo Balogun did a interview, I believe it was this morning, with CBS. And he talked about the red card, the suspension from the red card, the suspension of the suspension from the red card, and how it affected both him and Team USA. This is what he told CBS. Quote, "My initial reaction was I was happy to be back in the team. But when I kind of started to reflect, I knew it was going to cause a lot of controversy. And I could almost see within my teammates a bit of nerves because it's something that is so unique. But the closer we got to the game, I tried to just focus as best as I could, but it was different. It was difficult. A lot of outside noise, and that's hard to avoid," end quote. He said his teammates provided him with reassurances, and he said it wasn't something that I could change, that it was just an unfortunate situation. But you could tell it impacted him. The suspension impacted him, like the red card impacted him, but then suspending the suspension for a year, allowing him to participate, to play when they did it, right? The Sunday before the game against Belgium. Mere hours from the game being played. And just the media firestorm that it provided, right? With the president getting involved. This being something that's never been done before in this way, with this kind of heavy-handed nature to it. And then they came out so flat against Belgium and lost, and it made it all worse. So yeah, Flo Balogun talking to the media and talking about how it impacted the team. A pair of baseball stories for us to discuss here to close things out. The interim executive director, Bruce Mayer, for the MLBPA, so the interim head of the union, not happy with the ads that have been airing to maybe get the public on the MLB owners' side. They have been showing these level the field, is what they're calling the advertising campaign. They've been showing them on MLB.TV, and I think they're also on MLB Network. And Meyer has not been happy with this. Quote, "I have watched over the last 2 years how the owners, the commissioner's office, try to convince fans, the consumers of their product, that the product is broken. I think it's perverse. Case in point is leading up to this All-Star game. Any of us who watch baseball are seeing ads not so much for the All-Star game, not promoting the game, not promoting the players, but promoting the league's desire for a salary cap, end quote. And if you're somebody that watches MLB Network or MLB TV because you poke around and you watch other teams, I've seen it firsthand. I've seen these ads firsthand. I had a buddy message me the other day, and he was like, they're running what on MLB TV? Because he had sat down to watch a game for the first time in a little bit. Now, the commissioner responded, quote, I think when you have a difficult public issue, particularly when the other side of the issue is being very public about what their views are on the negotiation, I think it's incumbent on us to keep our fans informed of our view of the world, particularly given sometimes the other side may not be completely accurate or fair in terms of their recitation of what's going on. End quote. Might have butchered that word. Listen, we try here on the program, okay? We give it our best shot.
Allegedly.
I go back to what I said when talking about the Olympics earlier. I mean, these two sides just they dislike each other so much. They just despise each other so much. Also, I looked it up. Recitation, we were correct. Now, I don't like these ads being aired. I don't like, it feels very propaganda-y for the MLB TV and MLB Network, which is owned by the league and the owners running it. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good. And, Manfred can't help himself, right? Saying, it's our job to keep our fans informed of where we stand. Is it, though? And is it in this way? If you want to keep the fans informed of your position as the owners, that's one thing. But to do it the way you're doing it, running it like it's a commercial, it feels a little icky to me. And then again, saying that, they may not be accurate or fair in terms of what's going on, they can say the same thing for you. So who are you to say that your side is the side of truth? Just like who's to say that what they're saying is the truth? Somewhere in the middle is the real truth here, right? Between both sides. You know the old phrase, somewhere in the middle lies the truth. That's what's going on here. So I don't like it. And again, just another example, just file it away as more proof. It's going to be a long winter. It's going to be a long, long, long winter. All right, last baseball story for you. The ABS challenge system has been widely successful this year. Could we be getting another one? Because down in, I think it's A-ball, and in the Arizona Fall League as well, there is another challenge system that is in place. And that is a challenge system to check swings, where you ask the first or third base umpire, did he go? And you get the no, or yes, he did go. You now may have the ability to challenge that. They have it down in A-ball. It works the same as ABS. You kind of tap your helmet. They go to the monitor or the big screen, and there's technology in the bat and in the ballparks with all the camera angles, and they can tell what a swing is. And 45 degrees, if the bat moves 45 degrees past its final stopping point, the barrel, then it's a swing. Less than 45 degrees, then it's not a swing. I saw a video of this morning in reading this story on CBS Sports. Some players have said it's very hitter-friendly. But, I mean, when you have the ABS challenge system and it's been as successful as it was, I think you're going to look for other ways to add these things into, one, get the calls right, but two, kind of add this strategic element, right? The pitch clock. The relievers have to face three batters. The banning of the shift. One of the concerns that I had about it was that you were going to eliminate the strategic element of the game, right? Well, you can add that back in different ways. The ABS challenge system is another way to add that strategic element in. This is another. So I'd like to see it a little bit more in action, because right now it's just an A-ball. But could be the next thing that Major League Baseball adds. Again, when we play Major League Baseball next, because 2027 doesn't feel like it's going to happen anytime soon. It's going to do it for us here on the program. Jim Rome's coming up next. Producer Evan.
Nice job.
What a great job by you. Everyone, have a great rest of your Tuesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.